From a building fight over free speech to the new focus on maple washing, Calgary's tech takeover, and recognition for a group of super seniors. Our Primetime This Week panel is in, and joining us this evening, Darren Kraus, editor and founder of LiveWire Calgary, and Bob Sumner, former 30-year news veteran, now media and communications consultant. Good evening to you both. And let's begin with widespread outrage over late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel being pulled off the air indefinitely, controversy that stems from comments made on Monday's show.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Kimmel's comments were slammed by many on the right, including the chair of the Federal Communications Commission, who issued an unsubtle threat to ABC and its affiliates, implying broadcast licenses could be at risk if they did not take action.
Trump and his allies seem to want to shut down speech that they don't like to hear.
The president, meanwhile, has played down freedom of speech concerns, calling Kimmel's ouster a business decision.
You can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Now, in Ottawa, the Bloc Québécois leader declined to weigh in directly, but did paraphrase Voltaire.
I profoundly disagree with what you say, but I will fight to the end for you to have the right to say it.
While Jimmy Kimmel has not been officially fired, it is not clear if he will ever return to his show. So, Darren, how do you boil down what's happening south of the border? Should this be considered cancel culture?
Yeah, I think to a certain degree it should be considered cancel culture, but I think it goes a greater degree towards outright censorship. I mean, for a country that prides itself on First Amendment rights and it lords it over countries, this should be a gut punch. But the real key here is that, Jimmy Kimmel is actually probably a pawn in this whole thing, because I know that there are FCC decisions around mergers and acquisitions that would go against some of the FCC rules. There's a piece in the Washington Post on this. So this just smacks of an opportune time to get rid of somebody who may have kind of stood in the way of those mergers simply because he opposes some of the views of the current president.
Bob, what's your takeaway? Is this Jimmy Kimmel being held accountable for what was said? Is it something more?
Oh, I think it's definitely something more. It's very political in nature. I mean, you can even look at that Fox News anchor that decided to say that homeless people should be killed if they refuse addiction treatment. But he apologized and everything's good over there. But I mean, these guys are trying to make money and become bigger networks. So I think the pressure to get a license has probably played out in this a lot. And I think Jimmy's pretty funny. I'm looking forward to see what the SNL folks do this week. We'll see what happens.
True enough. Now, Darren, how worrisome is this from a Canadian standpoint? Will there be a degree of spillover here?
Well, I mean, I guess the degree of spillover probably, at least at this point, is only to the extent that we get U.S. television here. I mean, if we were to elect a government that is similar in nature to how Trump operates in the U.S., and I wouldn't name any names, then I think there's a plausible chance that we could see similar spillover in Canada. But until then, like I said, the impact that we'll start to see is almost a feel of state-run media type scenario on our cable subscriptions.
And Bob, to that point, to what degree do you see this reshaping the media landscape? What follows, whether it's here in Canada or if we look to the south?
Yeah, well, up here we don't have that many people taking shots. People, I don't think they're going to take Mark Critch off the air or anything like that. But it's not going to be the wild, wild west down in the U.S. that we're used to seeing on late night TV. There's a few left, like Jon Stewart and that other, I can't remember his name. I don't stay up that late, but I like to watch it on reruns sometimes. But, it's changing.
All right. Next up, with no end to U.S. trade tensions, many shoppers continue to go out of their way to buy Canadian. And as they walk the aisles, scour grocery store shelves, many making note of items marked product of Canada, yet closer inspection shows something totally different, prompting emergence of the term maple washing.
We've seen many cases where the maple leaf was used to inflate prices, and frankly, a lot of products were labeled in a way that it was actually quite misleading.
Complaints have prompted a Quebec law firm to file a class action lawsuit against several major chains alleging false advertising to take advantage of consumers wanting to support Canadian products.
The only conclusion is that it's to make profit, and it's to take advantage of vulnerable consumers who are at a disadvantage vis-a-vis the information that the grocer has.
Now, class action seeks compensation for consumers. Bob, what do you make of the emergence of this term maple washing, and what does it reflect about the relationship with Canadian consumers?
Yeah, well, I think you could relate it to greenwashing. It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing, and makes you feel good inside. Yeah, I'm supporting Canadian, but at the end of the day, if you find out it was false, that's going to give you a bad feeling. And it kind of takes me back to when you hear about Americans putting Canadian flags on their backpacks so they can travel unhindered through Europe. But I don't know. It's a pretty good label, the Canadian flag, for the most part.
Darren, where do you feel this leaves the big grocery chains? What's the message they could or should be taking away from this?
Well, I don't know if they'll take any message at all, really. I mean, if they found that Canadians are willing to be a little bit more slacktivist about the whole thing and not actually check the facts on this, then I mean, I guess to a certain degree, it's shame on Canadians. But I mean, you would think that the grocery chain should smarten up a little bit. It's rather gross that they would potentially be misleading customers just to make an inflated sale on a box of crackers or a pound of cherries. It almost smacks of that whole bread price fixing debacle that we went through over the past couple of years.
Darren, does it warrant a class action lawsuit?
I guess we'd have to see. I mean, maybe there's a class action warranted here. There's probably some potential, especially if there is actual proof that there is misleading behavior here, where it does say that it's a product of Canada, and it's actually not. That is misleading, and therefore could be grounds for a class action. All right, interesting to see what happens there. For us, time for a break. When we come back, a big tech takeover and Calgary's top 7 over 70. More from our Primetime This Week panel in a moment. Welcome back. A report on commercial real estate is painting a whole new picture of Calgary. Once dominated by oil and gas companies, more of these downtown towers are turning into homes for technology companies. According to CBRE Group, a global commercial real estate services firm, Calgary saw a 61% increase in tech employment between 2021 and 24, adding 64,000 jobs and drawing people from far and wide.
Especially from Toronto and Vancouver, moving to Calgary. Many of them are looking for exciting tech work, but also for that Alberta lifestyle.
While San Francisco, Seattle, and Toronto rank as the top tech talent markets in North America, Calgary is up 3 spots from last year.
The overall cost for tech companies to set up here, it's ranked 4th lowest, so number 46 out of the report. Of all major cities in North America to operate.
Adoption of artificial intelligence and attracting data centers is also helping make research a priority.
So rather than us being dependent on American AI infrastructure for everything we do, we want to make sure there's Alberta infrastructure that's built right here in Alberta, operated right here in Alberta.
For those wondering, Edmonton, by the way, ranked 38th overall. Bob, I'll start with you. Calgary's long been considered Canada's oil hub, big shiny towers filled with oil execs. So how much does this growth in tech change your city's corporate landscape?
Well, I think that base will always be here because that's what's going to fuel the investment in the tech. But you can definitely see a shift here, and I know that Darren sees this too, but like places like Platform Calgary, Neo, which you featured in your report, like these folks are all on the leading edge. But it doesn't always go smooth sailing as here. We saw that Adibotics got into some financial trouble. But I think Calgary is pretty excited about changing into a tech company, and Alberta especially, like that big push in Grand Prairie that they're going to have a big AI fuel center, whatever you want to call it. It's not my expertise, but I think the future looks promising for AI in this city and province.
Darren, if this tech evolution continues and Calgary climbs even further in these rankings, what then comes of the city's identity? And how do you see Calgarians embracing a potential change away from oil?
Well, look, I think Calgary is always going to be known as the oil and gas hub of Canada, but its continued emergence as a tech market is undoubtedly going to change how the city is viewed, not only in the province, but across the country and around the world. I think it's worth noting, though, that as this identity sort of shifts, that the increase in tech is actually in a lot of our traditional industries like oil and gas and agriculture and even financial. So the identity is there, the same identity that we've had for years, but it's just taking a new shape in a modern, more modern 21st century. And I think that's something that it's a really key bridge between Calgary of past and Calgary of future, when you blend those two things together. And I think to that end, more Calgarians will continue to embrace that shift.
All right. We have time for one more topic, that is recognition for the achievements of 7 Calgary seniors. Achievements reached after retirement. The top 7 over 70 awards highlight the huge contributions many older adults are making in the community, working or volunteering in business, education, science, social enterprise, arts and sports. And this year's list includes 92-year-old Ron Freckleton, a speaker, author, advocate, and fundraiser for dementia and Alzheimer's awareness.
I do it because I love to do it. It's as simple as that. I'm having so much fun, and I believe that I'm making a difference.
Age shouldn't really matter in a lot of ways, and just because you've retired doesn't mean you need to retire. You can be rewired and refired and be able to return and give in other ways.
Right now, almost a fifth of all Canadians are 65 and older. Darren, what's to be said about Calgary's top 7 over 70? What these individuals bring to not only the city, but our province as a whole?
Well, first off, this is always great, and I'm reminded that it's probably coming for me sooner than I would hope. But there is life after 50. There's life after 60, and yes, even life after 70. It speaks to that notion now that 70 is the new 50. You can continue to contribute to your community long after you retire. No longer are you bound to that easy chair watching game shows sitting in the corner of your home. You can get out there and put your skills and experience to work back in the community. And I think that's really important. There's a lot to be learned and a lot to be gained from those Albertans who are out there and willing to share that with the community and kind of bring along that young group of Albertans or Canadians, with a little bit of insight into their experience and their expertise. I think it's fantastic that we recognize these folks.
Bob, we heard in the clip there, rewired, refired. Is there a message here for those Albertans who maybe have retirement on the horizon? What you can accomplish, what you can achieve as a senior?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like Kim McConnell's a great guy. He founded Ad Farm here, and he just continues to contribute to the city. I'm much closer to this than Darren is, and I totally agree. Like, you just have to rewire and just recharge and get out of the house and go do stuff and be involved in the community. And that's my goal. So I'm goal setting 3.5 years from now. I want to be a 70 over 70, and then I'll have 10 years to work towards it.
There you go. There you go. Okay. You know what? I think we have probably maybe about 20 seconds each for either a winner or a loser. Darren, pick one.
Ooh. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to go with election time. You know what? We've got nomination day coming up on Monday. For those of you who relish municipal elections, this next month is going to be for you.
Yeah, we fully anticipate we'll be reading LiveWire to see what comes of the campaign trail. All right, so and Bob, take it home. Do you have a winner or do you have a loser?
I'll take I'm going to go easy and take the beautiful weather we're experiencing right now, and it's making us all winners and getting us outside and riding our motorbikes, right, Michael, and going out and supporting local businesses as much as we can.
Yeah, well, my bike hasn't moved, so I think you're alone on that one. But maybe there's still a little time before the snow flies. Gentlemen, we'll have to leave it there. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too. Thanks, Michael.